Alright, let's start this tutorial. To begin with, you want to buy yourself the small aluminium dinghy, so that you've got a boat, obviously. Then you want to go over here to upgrades, and then go to level up, and you want to max out your fuel capacity and your gear capacity. Don't spend the gold on them though. And that's pretty much all you want to do in that section. Then you go over here to, we'll start with traps. Buy yourself some single blue crab traps, as many as you can hold, which is 4. And that'll pretty much do you to start with. So you hit deploy, you drive your little dinghy just outside of the blue zone. If you hit the little N button, it'll stick it in neutral. Then up on the top right hand corner, you'll see a big ass fishing hook next to the fishing rod. If you tap that one, it'll bring up your crab traps at the bottom of the screen. What you want to do then is stick it in full throttle forwards, start dropping crab traps as close together as you can, pretty much. Once you got all of those dropped, stick it in neutral. Turn the boat around first. I forgot to have steering like I have, with the little wheel instead of arrows, which can be tricky sometimes, at least with this little boat. You need to go into your settings, but I'll show you how to do that in a second once I pull back up to this first crab trap. The other easier way of doing it is going, I have the best motor on this boat, hence why it jumps around so much. But once you get, come on, go forward you bastard. Once you get lined back up with this, you just stick your boat in neutral, stop next to the crab trap without running it over. And if you hit the little fishing rod, it'll make it stop really quickly. And to set up all your fishing gear like I have here, what you want to do is tap on the little tackle box up on the top right, and you want to set yourself up with a reel. The heavy casting reel is probably one of the best to work with as far as I know. So you buy that one. I've already got one on there. Oops, went back too far. Then you buy yourself a fishing rod. I like the roller 6 foot. I don't know, I just again think that it's probably one of the stronger ones. And we'll go over to the line next. For your line, always buy the braided line. It's only $25, and I mean, why would you want really light, cheap line for 10 when you can have the best line for 25? And your lure, all you're going to want to start off with is this one, the floater lure. So that's your fishing gear all set up now. And to cast your rod, it doesn't have it on the top left on the screen on mine, but to cast your rod, you hold the reel. It says hold anywhere, but you have to hold the reel just because it's retarded. Then pull it back towards you, flick it forwards and let go of the reel. When it starts vibrating, you flick the phone back towards yourself to strike, and then you have to hold in your reel on the right hand side where it says high and low here. Obviously if it starts looking like it's going to break the rods, start reeling in a bit slower. And then, yeah, once you've caught your fish, you can either keep it or release it. I'm going to keep this one just so I can sell it and make a bit of cash and show you how it all works. But that's how the fishing works, all the rod fishing. And these are our crab traps. They're starting to get there. We'll let them sit for a little bit longer. Oh, I got hooked up on it. Come on, get where I want you to, stupid dinghy. Yeah, if you run into them, it makes your dinghy go all weird. It knocks you off course. But the other easy way of doing it is to park in the dock. Come on, you stupid boat, stop. Right there. Stop where you are. Alright, we leave him sitting there for a second and we'll go bring up the map in the top right corner. A new chest has appeared. I'll go collect that in a sec and show you how they work. Right, to be able to find where the fish are, if you want to go after a certain type of fish, you need to tap the 3 little lines in the top left corner there. And it brings up fish, crustaceans, shellfish and all of that. If you go ahead and tap, let's go crustaceans, we're going after the second one, the Chesapeake blue crabs. So we'll click that one and see how the area just went all yellow. That means that there is shit tons of them around. But we've got our 4 crab pots out, and that's as many as we can hold in this little boat. So, but that's where all they are and how finding each fish works. To then figure out what you need to be able to catch that fish, I'll show you that in a second. To figure out what you need to catch it, we'll just go to a fishy. And we'll go the bluefin because they're my favourite. Because they make the most money. But it brings up the info on the fish itself. And then if you click it again, it brings up all the catching info. So this is what you need to be able to catch it. So it tells you that it's a top water fish, which is why I showed you the floater lure. Don't worry about the bait and the average size, really, or average price, or the abundance. Like that just means how quickly they'll disappear. All you really want to focus on is the depth and the gear, because gear tells you what you need to be able to catch it. So with bluefin, all you need is a fishing rod, which, yeah, makes sense, really. Then we'll just go, say, to the Atlantic cod. Oops. You have to tap on the fish itself to be able to bring up the info. Again, brings up the info of the fish, and then how you can catch it. See, so this one's a cheaper, like, not as expensive fish when you sell it, but it's a much higher abundance, and it's a bottom feeding fish rather than a top feeder like the bluefin. But you can also catch it with the fishing pole, the net, the super net, the ultra net, the long line, and the light gill net. So you have more ways of catching it, so you can catch more at once. And I'll show you what the nets and long lines and all of that are. Yeah, these are good enough, so all we do is we hit check, and I've got 7 pounds of blue crab out of that. So I'll start going ahead to the next one. Get a bit closer, and check that one as we drive past it. And then check that one. And check that one. We'll just sell this lot. So you pull back into your one of the blue squares. It comes up with tap to dock boat. When you hit that, it pulls you into this section, which is the sell section. So I'm going to sell everything to these guys because this boat doesn't really move anywhere further than here. So what I want to do is hit set max and set max, or over on the right hand side you got set all to 0, set all to max. So with that you can select either to sell all of everything or not. You can also select just one fish or half the amount of fish that you have. Again, I'm going to sell all of the fish to this one. So we hit continue. It gives you a little receipt on how much money you made. So that little tiny fishing trip just out of the dock and back made me $130, which is pretty good. So we'll hit continue there, and up the top there's the map, the house, and the gear. The gear's the settings, obviously. It's always good to have your sounds on. Well, sound doesn't really matter, but the vibrate is always good to have on. You've got control type over here where it says wheel. You can change that to arrows and tilt, or tilt only, or arrows only. I like the wheel because it makes it a bit easier to see, or to control. You can change your draw distance, which is the amount that it sees on your screen. Definitely turn seagulls off. They're bloody annoying, especially if you have the weather on. Well, not weather, sound. You've got waves down here where it says gentle. You can change that to rough or perfect storm, even like the movie where you got 2 and 3 story tall waves so that you can really send it. You can have it as flat as well. I like gentle. Back down this end where you've got time of day, and I've got mine set as real time. You can change that to any time of the day that you want. Sorry, I'm trying to pull a plastic fork out of wrapping. Right, that's everything in the settings section. So, let's actually just pull that section back up. See, across the bottom you've got store, journal, home, multiplayer, and career. Over on career is where you have all your achievements and all the biggest fish that you've caught. There's my biggest tuna so far. 326 pounds. But in here you can get contracts using the radio to be able to make a little bit of extra money. I don't really see the point in it because you don't make that much extra. To collect chests, you tap the little plus up here and you go across the top to where it says chests. Ooh, I have one sitting here. And you just tap that one to claim it. That's the most amount of money that you can win out of the chests, $2,500. The least amount is $500. And that's also the most amount of gold you can win out of it. You can win between 1 and 5 gold, and also blue chip, which is the ones up in the top right hand corner that I have 1 of. You probably have 6 of it at the moment. You're going to use that to be able to get to another fuel station that makes it so you can make more money. But that's down the track. Right, we'll go back to the boat. Alright, we'll go upgrades, go to rigs. You want to buy this thing, the micro dragger. I can't install it at the moment because I've got crab nets on me. See how it's flashing red? That takes up 10 storage to start with. But with the micro dragger, you can go past all the crab nets, because you need a different type of crab net for each different crab. You've got the nets, and you got the net, the super net, and the ultra net, which are drag nets that you can set to either middle depth or bottom depth. They call it some plethogaric or some shit like that, just to be smart asses instead of middle. These things are awesome. You can catch shrimp, lots of different fish, and all of that sort of thing. Then you've got the dredge net, which you need to be able to dredge, super dredge, and ultra dredge. You need them to be able to catch oysters and clams and all of those sorts of things. And we'll go back, we'll go over to extras. GPS, it can be handy if you're going to do a lot of crabbing. If you're just going to do it enough to be able to make enough money to buy a bigger boat to get down to the other area, then it's not really worth it. I mean, it's $1,000, it's not really that much. Then you've got the sonar, which is really, really handy if you're going to do netting or dredging or even pole fishing, because it tells you where everything is. So I'll reinstall that one. You got the trawler scanner, which again helps with when you're working nets and dredges. It tells you how full your net and dredge is. That one's really, really handy. 5-star towing, that just makes it so you get towed free of charge. Not worth it. Neither is that one. Not on this little boat anyway. Autopilot module, that is really handy. Probably not so much on the little boat. On the bigger boats it becomes really, really handy, but I'll show you how that one works in a second when we go to get that other chest. Engines. See, I've got the... Oh, I don't have the best engine installed in this. Yes, you've got the default engine, then the skipper engine swap. But you can, as you go up, they go faster. The Angel engine swap being the fastest, most reliable, and most fuel efficient. I might just upgrade this thing to the Champion engine swap. That way this thing goes faster now. I don't know what captains are because I haven't unlocked them yet, apparently. If you're just going to use this thing for a crabbing boat, it's always good to upgrade your crustacean quota. Again, I didn't really use this boat that much. I bought some gold and bought a better boat, which I'll show you in a minute. Again, after I've collected that other chest. That's everything in there. We'll go down to maintenance. It is always important to go to maintenance every time you pull into dock, because that's where you refuel your boat and repair the hull. That's also where you can sell your boat. In the bottom right hand corner it's got sell boat. It tells you how much. Mine's only worth so much because I've got so much stuff installed on it. You can customise your boat down here. You can change its name, its colour, add decals, change flag. I've got the South Australian flag on there at the moment. Right, continuing where I accidentally cut myself off, I've got the South Australian flag on at the moment because I've made it all the way to Australia. You start off in America, unfortunately. Right, let's go ahead and deploy from here. See on the left hand side how it's got the little clipboard. If you click that, that'll tell you all of the stats of how many shellfish you're allowed to catch and crustacean and fish and all of that, and how much storage you've got on your boat. Next to that is the GPS marker. That'll tell you where your traps are if you've bought that one. Then next to it is the radar, or the sonar. This tells you where all of your fish are. So it's telling me that there's one on top. Sorry, there's one on top right near me, so if I pull my rod out, I'm not going to catch fuck all because I'm facing the coast. But I'll turn my boat a little bit and pull my rod out and give it a little whip and a cast. I think I've got the... No, I did put the right lure on. See how it says weight on the left? It buzzes and you flip back and wind her in. See, I can make it go slower so it's putting less stress on the rod and everything. And it's a whopping 12 pounder. I'm going to let this one go. Hear the splash, he got let back into the water. But that's a good way to be able to find out what's around, is by hitting that. And I'll go into the map and use the Autopilot to make it over to the chest. So, I should have explained that better. Let me just place it there and then get rid of it if I can. Yep. Alright, so on the right you've got the compass. That tells you where everything is, or which way's which and all of that. You have a circle with a target around it. That's just to be able to place waypoint markers that'll come up as different colours. They just pop up on the map to be able to make it easier to navigate your way through stuff. And the one next to it, which is a little shipping wheel with arrows around it, that's your autopilot feature. So if you tap that one and then tap it right on where that chest is, you can only just see it. I'll have to turn that crab. Let's turn the crab meter off. Damn it, I keep on hitting shellfish instead of crustaceans. Alright, see how there's that white beam coming up off of the map? I'll just put it in free mode so I can look around, and the free mode is dodgy as hell because up makes you go up like that and down makes you go underwater. So if you're used to inverted cameras, it is really annoying. But it's basically whichever way you drag it is the way that the camera moves. But see how there's now this big white beacon of light? Well, if up the top I hit the same steering wheel with arrows around it, it now says tracking towards waypoint over on the right hand side above the throttle. And you throttle it up, and he drives himself off to it. I'll just zoom out because he's waving around on his boat and annoys the shit out of me. And pretty much everybody else that plays this game. But now your steering wheel does nothing. That's just moving the camera because my thumb's too fat. But yes, now your steering wheel will do nothing while that's in control. And you can still turn your GPS on. To get rid of it, you just tap it again. Alright, destination reached. So now they've let go of control and it's all yours, and there's the chest. As you drive past it, you just tap to collect. Sorry, that was probably a bit quick because I was moving along pretty fast. We'll just drive back over to the dock. Actually, I don't think we need to now, seeing as I've refueled and upgraded the engine on it. Let's just bring the map up again. Alright, so once you've made enough money there and upgraded your boat and your fuel to as much as you can, you zoom out a bit, and if you notice, you can get through past all where my crab traps are there and come down this way along this little creek into Eastern Bay. Zoom out a bit to make it quicker because it tracks so slowly. you can make your way down along over this way towards this anchor. It'll be a padlock for you, but it's an anchor for me because I've already bought it. It costs you 25 gold to buy, but that is CJ's Dive Service. This place is awesome because we'll hit info, and this, when you hit info on the docks and that, the docks and marinas, I'll show you the difference between docks and marinas in a minute. It brings up a list of what they buy and how much they're paying for it at the moment. So at the moment I've got bluefin tuna, and I am not going there at the moment because I only want $8 a pound. It's normally 15. We'll keep scrolling down. You got like northern red snapper. They spawn just outside of the dock, so they're always good to be able to go after. And you got all your shellfish prices and all of that. The best thing to fish for down here, if you're going to go after crabs, is the Florida stone crab. I don't have a boat here at the moment, but let's just get rid of them and we'll zoom out more again just to show you how big this area is. These patches that are highlighted are the bluefin. But if we keep going, if my phone behaves, if we keep going down this way and over here, this is what they call Australia. I know, it's retarded. But we've got the Golden Coast Marina. See, this one's a marina, whereas this one is just a dive service. This one at the bottom here, it says only for repairs and offloading. So if you go there, you can't build a new boat there to start again. Whereas this one, if I can tap it because I'm so far zoomed out, if we tap on this one, and see it's got different list of fish that they buy at different prices. See, scallops are nice and expensive here. You've got the boat list. Oh, I've got a boat in here. I've got my Tassie crayfish boat in here. And it's still running an American flag. I have to fix that. And put the South Australian flag on there. What's it even called? That's right, Navigator. That's right. I'm going to go in here. Go to sonar. Go to trawler scanner. Alright. These thrusters, they can be handy to be able to maneuver a boat around crab traps and that. I don't really like them. I'll just drive around in circles until I get to it. One of my boats has them installed. These things, no idea what they're good for. Again, one of my boats has them installed, doesn't change anything. And there's the Autopilot module. I haven't bought it on this boat because it's 50 gold, whereas your starting boat it's only 25. Let's have a look at our rigs. I've got the long lining rig on at the moment. Do I have the... Yes, I do have a dredge rig. So you can't have two rigs on at once, so I can't have the long lining rig on, which is installed, and install my dredging rig at the same time, which is really annoying. But in here, it's got all of the stuff that I've got. I'm going to go out and collect that long line to be able to change over to scallops. So I have to bring that long line in and then sell them both. Well, the other one will probably break because it's on 0% nearly. And then I can uninstall my long lining rig and reinstall my dredge rig. And then go over here and go all the way down here and put in probably a super dredge because, oh no, I'll probably put an ultra dredge in. It's only 3 gold for this boat. But yes, that'll make it so I can then go after cockles with this one. See, again, this boat I haven't really done that much to because it costs more to upgrade and I've only just bought it. I'm pretty sure it was the first boat that I bought down here. Oh wow, they're expensive motor upgrades. But yes, that's my basic rundown. I don't think there's anything else I need to show you. I'll just scoot over to my bluefin boat quickly though, just to show you how much bluefin I got. I'll also explain that. Notice how there's different coloured patches. We've got a yellow patch over on the left and the boat's sitting on a red patch and there's a white patch. The yellow patch means that it's I think about 75% stocked or up to 90% stocked. You can also get them green, which is where they're overstocked. Then they go red, like where my boat is sitting, where you've fished most of it out. It's down to about 33%, I think. And the white section is in the middle area, it's about 50%. But once you fish it out entirely, the patch will just disappear. If you check into the game every 8 hours, fish stock will replenish by 25%. Do not spend your blue chips trying to refill the stock. It's not worth it. If you want, you can use your first starter boat, which is hot. You can use it, pull up all your crab nets, sell all them off, and have a empty boat. Micro trawler thingy on there, as well as the one of the nets, the ultra net, more than likely it's the best one, and go all the way down here towards CJ's dive shop. You'll have to refill your boat probably 3 times, which will cost you 2 SP, 2 of the blue chips each time. You should have 6 of them, as I said before, which will make it so that you can get all the way down the bottom there. And then once you get down to CJ's, then you can, I'll bring up the fish, and what was it, the northern red snapper, I think it was, yes. So they spawn all around where the port is, so it makes it really easy to dump all your fish. Like, catch a whole heap right there, then sell them straight away and go straight back out. One thing that you will want to upgrade is your fish quota, so that you can catch more fish every 8 hours. Don't be tempted to buy heaps of boats at the start, because it'll cost you an arm and a leg. If we go into the shop, that's the starting boat, the $5,000 one, and I think you can afford one of these ones. Not really worth it. Just stick with the little tiny one to start with. But then as you get higher up, you get to boats that I've unlocked, like these ones, and here's the one that I want. Oh, I've gone too far, I think. Yeah, that's the one that I bought with gold. That thing's a nice little all-rounder boat that can be used for everything. And then as you go up, you unlock bigger and bigger and bigger boats. And then eventually you get up to the big boats. And the massive boats. Like these things are massive. Like Boaty McBoatface. And then you've got these little guys which go and collect all your fish from all your other boats and take them all back into the marina at once. They're amazing, but I don't have the gold to buy them. These things are pretty cool. I think they're just a matter of, just for being able to scout out areas. Do not buy that thing, it's a waste. It does not go 300 knots. And these are the boats that you can win out of the golden chest, which costs 100 SP or 100 gold. I mean, that little thing there can hold heaps of fish. As you can see, it holds 10,000 pound of fish, but you can only use fishing rods and crab traps. But yeah, they are the different boats that you can buy, and I'm pretty sure that's just about everything that I need to show you. So yeah, let me know if you need any more help.